Alright. It's back on. That's the compromise settings, which we now know work. Nothing else is eating CPU as far as I can tell. Origin might be, I guess. Is that the only thing I can see there? Alright, there we go. And we're back in. And XSplit's preview window is showing good. Not seeing frame rate drops. The only other thing I can think of is to synchronize frames, but that also means that I have to play at 30 FPS, and I'd actually rather kill myself. So, yeah, that's not really an option. There we go. I'm in the water. I'm seeing no frame rate drops of any description on this end from the monitor. Wolfrey, kind of. Here's the way things work, right? It comes down to efficiency of encoding, yeah? So, if you encode with a really efficient and CPU-intensive compression, you can do more with less, yeah? You can send a higher quality image and use less upstream. Those who have a lot of upstream can actually skip a lot of this stuff, and that's great. I don't, because I live in an area that's 4.5 miles away from an exchange, which means that my upstream and downstream are severely limited because of the way that the phone lines are in this country. I couldn't get fiber connected to my house. The nearest fiber connection is about 120 miles away. That's not even an option. It's coming to this town, but it's going to be out of range of where I live. So, that is a problem. The only real solution, honestly, is to... I'm hoping to get back to the States this year and live there on a more permanent basis. If I do, I've got a pretty fancy setup over there that the missus set up recently, which is... what is it? It's a cable line combined with a DSL line via a combination router, which gives about 7 up and 58 down, which is not too bad. It's also got redundancy as well, so if one goes down, the other remains up, so it's very stable. In theory, I could do that here if I added a third line, but that would involve adding a third line, which is quite silly. It also involves buying a very expensive router, which is difficult to configure. You can actually buy a router that will take about 8 internet connections and combine them all together, but you've got thousands. Yeah, that's, you can combine internet connections like that. You just need a special router to do it, and it's very difficult. Like, the initial setup is a pain in the ass. If you get it working, it's wonderful. Why can't we get cable all over? I have no idea. I used to have cable in Sheffield, but not here. Like, this area is kind of dodgy. Up north, it's pretty difficult to get good internet. Someone asked a question, actually, about encoding earlier. Did you say... Hang on. Oh, I'm interested in answering that. Encoding would cause more artifacts in a fast game when you turned fast in this, right? Yeah. Like... And the way compression works is that when it sees that something in on the screen isn't changing, like, say, look at this scene right now. There's a couple of things that are moving. You've got the grass at the front, you've got my character, you've got my character's weapon, and you have some minor movement in places, but there are parts on the screen that don't really change. So, it uses an intelligent algorithm to figure out what's changing, what's not, and what is kind of there. Like, if something is changing a little bit, it'll compromise. And as a result, it can send an image that's not lossless, yeah? Because think about this for a second. Think about a screenshot of this game, yeah? Because that screenshot is 1 frame. Think about the size that screenshot would be. Now consider that you've got to send 30 of those every single second. And you've got to encode them as you go, and you need audio on them. If you thought about that, then you can realize how large it would really be to stream without that kind of compression. Like, the video file will be enormous. And indeed, if you've seen a Fraps video file, you know how enormous that file is. Think about streaming that. That's impossible. It can't be done. So you get that compression there. So things that move fast, and also anything that's got kind of a lot of crazy lighting effects, which is actually kind of bad in this game, because it's got quite an ethereal glow to things, as you can probably notice. So when you've got these particle effects and these blurs and these hazes, that's a real pain in the ass. Some of you might, you remember my really, really old Dungeons & Dragons video? The really old one, like the first one that I did, when there was snow? Oh god, that screwed with everything. Because it means that the entire screen is constantly changing. Because particles of snow are moving over the screen, it's having to re-render everything every time a drop of snow comes in. Oh god. Yeah, so that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'd love to have better internet. If I had better internet, I would not have these problems, but I'm working with what I've got, you know. I can't really... I can maybe give it a little bit more bitrate if I'm lucky, but it's such a push. I'm currently uploading at 1.4 megabits per second. And my internet's supposed to be 2 up, but it's closer to about 1.7, 1.8. So it's kind of important just to leave a little bit there, because if you completely max out your upstream, then horrible things happen. Like your downstream gets throttled to nothing, so even with chat up, it would cause lag. Yeah. I've got to say, bro, you are brave to pay $5 a month for the username Firecrotch Rocket. That makes me happy and depressed on so many different levels. Alright. But yeah, that's... Okay, cool. Well, that is that, I think. That works as best as I can possibly get it. I am supposedly going to... Well, I'm actually going to be shooting for like 8 hours tomorrow, because that's the length that Day 9's doing his stream. I'm on pretty early. Like, I think the only people that are on at my time are me, the French streamers Pomfetude, and Zoe and Toby-Wan Kenobi, the Dota 2 caster, at their studio. Those are the only 3 that are streaming at my kind of time. And then, of course, there's the Americans that are coming in later on. Ooh, I actually got a successful harvest on that. How wonderful. So that's pretty much that, I think. It seems to work pretty well. I'm just going to send myself back to the starting area here. I'm not going to nab anything from this secret cave over there. It's not that secret, really, but I assume some people probably missed it in the demo. It's got some really good weapons in it. It's got a big-ass hammer and some stunning daggers. Harvest all the things. As to what I'm going to be playing, well, do I feel like... I guess I can do a couple of minutes of Q&A, I suppose, if you want to do questions and answers. Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm going to go to bed soon, but yeah, I can do maybe 15 minutes. So if you want to do Q&A, then yeah, we can do Q&A. Before you ask questions, I'm going to be playing probably a mage and rogue combo, and yes, the game does support that. In fact, it encourages it. Like the 3 main classes, there are various combinations of those classes. You can play pure versions. You can actually play Universalist, which is like the big hardcore one. And you get bonuses for doing it. So, yeah, I'm going to play Mage Rogue, because that seems like a really good combination. It's like, I've got some really heavy-hitting long-range stuff, but I don't endure the fact that the Mage combat is kind of bad. Like, staff combat, the animation delay is really harsh. Like, watch this for a second. I'll show you the difference. Right. Now, you'll hear that, like, it takes me out a good second and a half to start dodging again. The dodge is quite responsive, as you can see. Now, if I do it with the daggers, I can do something like that. I can actually cancel out of attacks very easily, and immediately just get out of there. Like, I can let the the animation doesn't even have to finish, and I can dodge, which is fantastic. And this is going to be required, because I'm going to play this game on hard. I'm not going to screw around, because I'm good at spectacle fighters. I'm actually pretty damn good at them. Like, I've beaten Bayonetta, and Bayonetta's a pretty hard game. So, I'm not too bad at spectacle fighters. So, I think I can afford to do this hard. I've also been told that the game actually is pretty easy in places. So, I'll play the thing on hard. And, like I said, the difference between that and that is huge. I assume that that's deliberate, because mages aren't really supposed to be able to jump around. But what I want to do is use, like... I'll have a staff, because staff's got really good AoE and, like, ranged magic, but use daggers at close range, or Fey Blades, for instance. Swords, somebody asked? Yeah, I can show you that, I guess. I think I put it in my junk, actually. Not like that. Where's my weapons? Weapons, primary... rusty longsword. There you go. Sword's pretty good. It's a bit slower, obviously, but you can cancel... Once again, you can cancel out of the attacks, which is like the most major thing. The only one that you can't directly cancel out of is the final attack, and even then, it's a much quicker recovery time. So you can see, like, dodge, dodge, dash, dodge, dodge, switch, mid-fight as well, to actually continue your combo chain. So that is, I mean, this is really freaking responsive. But use the staff? No. Yeah. The thing is, it's not even just the last staff attack. It's even the second and third do the same thing. That's the problem. It's like there's more of a delay on the dodge on the first and second staff attacks than there is on that, so... Yeah, as I say, I like the feel of the daggers. I haven't tried Fey Blades yet because I haven't found a drop for them, but... Fey Blades are pretty neat. Yeah, I probably did get left behind because I'm cancelling attacks deliberately, so... The animations are deliberately being cancelled and things. So... Yeah. But yeah, you get the idea. Okay, right, well, if you want to do maybe 10 minutes Q&A, then yeah, sure. I don't want to really talk about Kingdoms of Amalur because I haven't played much of it, and this really is for tomorrow's stream. So if you want to do general Q&A on any subject and you're a subscriber, then feel free to ask me any question. I'll do Q&A for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Biggest challenges to cast endurance, mostly. Like, for instance, if I took the Heat Charity event that I did... in Berlin this weekend, that was about 11-12 hours of casting. Only 3 of those games were co-cast, so that was, let's see, 3 best of 3 solo, and actually 5 best of 3 solo and 1 best of 5 solo, and then 3 co-cast best of 3s. So it's mostly endurance, really. There's other things like trying not to say something that's dumb, but I think I'm getting a lot better at that. My analysis is getting much better than it is, so... But wait, certainly that was 6 months ago, so I'm pretty happy about that. Also, camera control, that's pretty important. Like, not missing drops is pretty vital, but that's much easier when you do... when you've got a co-caster, because they can spot drops for you. Who is your favourite StarCraft 2 player? Well, it's actually, at the moment, it's between 2 people. White Raw, still, because I love the way he plays, and Symbol. Symbol is so cool. That guy's, he's not so well-known TSL Korean player. He's just got this amazing Zerg style that I love. He uses a lot of Banelings, and he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, so yeah, definitely that. Have I considered casting other games besides SC2? Yeah, sure. All that time. I'll cast anything, really, but SC2 is probably the game I know better than others, but... I don't know. Do you have any LoL content in the near future? No, I'm not playing LoL anymore. I'll probably get back into it later, but I'm not playing LoL right now. Your best and most awkward encounter with a fan? I've had loads of really good encounters with fans, honestly. They're pretty awesome. Like, in real life, fans are amazing. And that's really cool because they don't do the dumb shit that they do on the internet. You know, they just act like normal people. So that's pretty sweet. Sometimes they actually get really scared when they come ask for an autograph or a photo or whatever, or even just to talk, which is kind of weird. Like, they'll hand me stuff for autograph and their hands will, like, be shaking. And it's like, what? I don't understand, but I guess... You know, for some people, it's a case of minor celebrity. I don't know. It's kind of odd. Awkward. Drunk fans. Really drunk fans. Because some people drunk are really bad. Like, they'll ask dumb stuff like to co-cast with you, and you feel really bad to say no, because obviously you're not going to allow that. I think there was one encounter where some fan was kind of stupid. He came up to me while I was casting and asked for an autograph while I was talking, and I had to just kind of wave him away, which, yeah, that was really awkward. What is your audio setup for streaming? That's on the FAQ, I think. It's the same equipment, so... let's see... Would I cast a LoL game? I don't know. I don't even know what the metagame is at the minute, so probably not. That game's got a lot of downtime. You've got to actually know shit to cast that game properly. And my knowledge of the metagame is like 6 months out of date, so it wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe if I get back into it. What games are you playing on the side for fun and not work? Well, right now, Soul Calibur 5 and a bit of Assassin's Creed here and there. And mono battles. Staple food. I don't know, lots of things. I eat loads of stuff. Like, curry is good. I make a lot of English stuff, really. I'm actually not bad cooking, if some of you might not know that, but I can cook pretty well. And anyone that was like down my place in Leicester when I used to cook the Sunday dinners can probably attest to that. I make a really good roast. I always have a roast every Sunday. That's kind of my tradition. And I can cook decent curry, but then again, who can't? I mean, you just get it out of a jar. It's not really hard as long as you know how to pan-sear meat, which is incredibly easy. What else? I make casseroles. Slow cooking. I love slow-cooked meat. Like any slow-cooked beef. Just it's good as well because you can take any kind of meat and it'll taste good after slow cooking. So like you marinate it and you cook it in a slow cooker for about 12 hours, and then you eat it with like potatoes and vegetables and stuff. That's so good, so good. Have I eaten at Vindaloo? Of course I have. I'm from Newcastle. What the hell do you think I am? Am I a brony? No, I don't care about My Little Pony. I find it a very curious phenomenon that it's liked by so many adult males, but I have no interest in it whatsoever. Would I do a fighting game show with Dodger? I don't know what it would entail. Also doing fighting games with a US player is really awkward because of lag, and she's on West Coast as well, so absolutely I don't think anything involving live streaming fighting games, hell no. You just can't do it. There's too much latency. Am I going to stream any more of Assassin's Creed? Probably not. I might. I mean, I never rule it out, but it was kind of a one-time thing, really. Plus, that has frame rate problems as well. Admittedly, what I've just done to change my configuration might fix that. Sorry, I'm going to have to scroll through here. You know what, I'm gonna leave that on pause, and I'm going to put on some music instead while I talk. It just makes more sense, because that means I can also alt-tab and scroll up the little thing. Where the hell's my Winamp? Come on, Winamp. Where are you? I'll just switch over to Showcraft overlay. Shoutcraft even. Yeah, what have I got? Because I've actually got the Soul Calibur 5 soundtrack here. I'm not even convinced that it's actually any good, but it does have a remix of Venice Rooftops from Assassin's Creed 2. It's pretty cool. There you go. Alright. Okay, let's go back here. What do I see? What do I see? Were you afraid that playing will become more work than fun as I started? No, but it's become readily apparent that actually happens. So, it's like becoming kind of necessary, I think, to do maybe this garbage day thing every now and again, because it's a nice compromise between doing the work style videos and doing the stuff that's just fun, you know? I still like it. I mean, it's like the best job in the world, but I don't view games the same as I used to. Let me put it that way. I don't get excited about new games releases anymore, because I know I won't have the time to play them, and also I know that I'll be very critical of them, and I view it as work, obviously. I think the only way you can make really good content is to view it as work. Either that, or you've got to be so passionate and so enthralled with the game that people are just carried away by that. It's doable. Have I tried the creative mode of Soul Calibur yet? Yeah, actually, like, stupid game. The problem is, like, a game like that, I really want everything unlocked from the start, because I want to create my perfect fighter. I wanted to make Phoenix Wright, for instance. I can't do it, because you've got to unlock all of the items. Oh, it's infuriating. I don't have that kind of time. Like, that would actually be the time where I'd actually probably pay for a DLC to unlock everything. So bad. Have I heard of zero punctuation? Are you serious? Of course I have. Has Catherine been released in the UK yet? No, but it's coming out soon. Can I turn down the music a bit? Yeah, sure. I think the mixer is actually the wrong level. There we go. Alright, it should be fine. People keep asking me about, like, would you do a show match stuff and custom maps? Yeah, that's all Showcraft is now. It's casting and customs. That's it. I'm not laddering anymore. I'm done. I'm totally done. What is my take on the failed Terra sneak peek? It's a stress test, and it turns out their service can't handle the stress. Successful test, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't worry about it. They've got loads of plans for beta and stuff. Rockstar are pretty cool, and they actually know what they're doing, so yeah, I'll be good. What happened to Troll Battles? Actually, in the next few days, I'm going to give you a new video with a new version. We've got a new version ready to go, and it's much more advanced than the previous one, so give us a few days to get that together. That's also going to be co-commentated by the creator, so we're going to be talking through a lot of different features. So that is coming. What is your best game? I don't know what that means. The game that I play the best? The game that I like the best? You're going to have to clarify. Let's see. Considering doing some more why we can't have nice things. Yes, the only problem with nice things is that a lot of the older games are really hard to film. Like anything in DOSBox, for instance, forget about it. The best thing you can do for that is actually live stream it, because XSplit will screen capture it much better than anything will film it. So it's really hard to do that kind of stuff. Like, there's some games that I want to do, but it's very unstable on like Windows 7. Like Metal Fatigue, for instance, doesn't run properly on Windows 7. It's all sorts of games that just don't run properly on Windows 7. It might even come down to the fact that I might set up I would think I'll probably set up a second machine that's designed for Windows XP and Windows 95. It dual boots XP and 95, 32-bit system, nothing advanced. Like, the most powerful single-core CPU I can get, like, say, an old Athlon Barton. Get one of those, or maybe an FX50... What was it? FX58, I think? Was the really powerful one for AMD. And maybe set that up with like an old school graphics card, and then actually a capture device out of that, capture via VGA component, something like that. But yeah, it's, as I said, I do them when I get the chance and when I think there's a game that deserves it. And I don't want to go excessive with it because, like, hey, this game didn't do very well, let's just try and revive it. I don't want to be that guy, the guy that tries to revive every game. It's just kind of depressing. You just mentioned the ladder match on Twitter. Was that related to SC2? Yes, it was a really bad game. I hated it. Will I check out PlanetSide 2? Yeah, if anyone knows my history of PlanetSide, I'll be in there so much. Have you ever considered leaving the journalism video production side of gaming to develop your own game? No. I might have... I've got some kind of cool mechanical ideas, and maybe at some point I'll get involved in making a game. I certainly will never learn to program. I will be the ideas guy. And I know that sounds stupid. It's like, everyone's the ideas guy. I would actually develop the mechanics. As it turns out, I'm actually consulting on a couple of games at the moment. I've taken some consulting jobs whereby it's my job to provide feedback and to fix things and things like that. That would actually be an interesting side business, and I'm looking into doing that in the future. So, some games that are coming forward, I can't tell you because obviously like I can say that I'm consulting, but I can't tell you which games I'm consulting on because of influence issues and clashes of problems and clashes of interest. So, but I am consulting on a couple of games that are coming forward, so I'm hoping I can do more. Did I finish Dragon Age 2? No, I played 8 hours of that game and hated every minute of it, so no, I'm not going to finish that game. It's terrible. What do you consider the best current game? Best current game, best game ever? Best game ever is Deus Ex, and will continue to be the best game ever. Best current game? I don't know, man. I don't think there is a best current game, you know? It depends on the genre. Like, if you asked me on a specific genre, then I could probably tell you. Let's see. So have you tried all the games with DX Story? It doesn't work. DX Story hooks into a specific version of Direct 3D, and the older games don't have that. So that's how it works. Will I make a WTF of Dust 1514? No. Would I consider garbage daying it? Yes. The mailbox consults a bit as well. Let's see what else. Any spoilers as to who's coming on the forthcoming TGS podcast? Can't be 100% certain. It's probably because we weren't going to have Jessie this week, and then Dodger had to cancel because her cat got really sick and she had to take it to the vet. So it will be me, Jessie, and Dodger, and one other person that I pretty much know. So, and that'll be Saturday. So what else? How often do I talk to all the different game developers? Depends on the developer. Like, I talk to indies a lot. The larger developers are obviously hidden behind walls of PR people. So I've talked to a few. I mean, I speak to DICE quite frequently and a few other devs like that, but it's mostly DICE through contacts of contacts, you know, because people in those companies tend to watch my show, and it's like DICE watches my show. It's like a couple of people in DICE watch my show and stuff like that. Like, there's a good example. Frogster, the guys who they made Runes of Magic, which you might not know, Runes of Magic is actually really successful. Like, it's actually a good game. It's just really wow, you know, it's incredibly wow. But it's free to play World of Warcraft effectively, and it's actually good. It just doesn't really do anything new. It's pretty much a WoW clone, but it's been around for a while. But whatever the case, all the Frogster guys saw my Terror Online video. Every single last one of them, including the CEO of the company, they saw that video. So you'd be surprised how many devs actually watch this stuff. They watch a lot of things on YouTube because when you get to a certain size, I suppose, people do start paying attention to what you have to say. What do you think about the new Shogun 2 standalone? I want it. I want it so bad. That is such a great, cool, amazing period in history. I've been told as well from people that are in the beta that it is mind-blowingly good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what new bugs will be introduced. Out of which of these three, which would you visit? Japan, China, Korea. South Korea specifically. For obvious reasons, esports related stuff. Let's see what else we got. Do I ever go hiking? No. I don't stay in good health. I'm not actually that healthy, but I almost finished setting up my gym. I've got a spare room in my place that I decided I'm going to set up as a gym and kind of man cave that's away from my stuff. So I've got God, this is probably the most I've spent on audio equipment in a while, and that's including the stuff that I buy for my work. I bought a Philips Fidelio D9000. Now, this thing is pretty baller. Let's... I think, is it DS9000? Yeah. Let me show you this thing. Because this thing is quite nice. I wanted a really good iPod and iPad dock for Spotify and listening to music in that room. So I bought this thing. I've linked it to you. This is like, it's a thing of beauty. It is so beautiful, and its sound is amazing. Anyway, the point is that I've set up that room with a punching bag. I need to get sand in the bottom, or water, so that it's stabilized, and my cross trainer, free weights, and exercise bike. So I've set those all up in there, and I've also put that docking station, which sounds amazing. Yeah, it is large. It's supposed to be. It's a full-on. It's a 100-watt speaker system, for God's sake, in one iPod dock. It is big. It is very big, and it sounds amazing. It sounds like, if you've ever heard the, I think, is it the B&H? B&W, maybe? Is it a B&W Zeppelin, I think is the name of it. It's basically comparable to that. Those things are incredible. But yeah, I'm getting in shape. I've lost like quite a bit of weight lately. I'm continuing to work on it, but it's mostly like gym work. I don't tend to go hiking stuff. I find it unbelievably dull. I actually get bored really easily. It's kind of a result of my dyspraxia, I think, the mental problem that I've got, which means that if I'm not constantly doing something, I get agitated. So it's kind of like a version of ADHD, I suppose, in that respect. It's just a side symptom of the condition I've got, but I always want to be doing something, and hiking is freaking boring in that respect. Like, I'm not doing anything other than walking. That bothers me. It makes me irritable. So, you know, if I'm at home in a gym or whatever and doing stuff there, that's better. That's more hands-on. I can get along with that, but otherwise I get agitated. Yeah, dyspraxia is a little bit more than just hand-to-eye coordination. It's got like 80 different possible symptoms. There's a lot of different variants, and I've got most of them, so that doesn't help. Let's see. Do I like Diablo 3? If I'm totally honest, I really didn't. And it's not down to it being bad, it's just that I don't like Diablo-style games. They're so repetitive. And that's a real problem. I mean, Diablo 3's, it's okay for what it is. I'm just not excited about it. When was the last time I did an RPG with rulebooks? Probably about a year ago. I played some Dark Heresy, Warhammer 40k. That was pretty good. I would love to do that again, but again, it's time. Did I ever touch upon Fortune Summoner? No. That Carpe Fulgrim are pretty cool. Like, Racketeer was an amazing game, but the other two games they've ported, I'm not interested in them. The reason I was interested in Racketeer was because it was a really interesting idea. The whole shopkeeper thing, that was incredible. What a great idea for a game. The rest of them, they're just kind of generic RPGs, and I don't really care. Plus, I can't get over the cutesy aspect of it. Let's see. That's what we got. Favorite 40k race? Tzeentch. Tzeentch Chaos Marines. Did I play the new Risk tabletop? I have it. I own Risk Legacy, but I haven't played it yet. Basically, there's going to be a day where we'll probably just like take a weekend to do nothing but play Risk Legacy. So my copy is sitting there untouched. It is ready to go. I'll probably invite a bunch of my friends around, and we're going to spend the weekend drinking, playing Risk Legacy, and it's going to be the best thing in the world. So hopefully in March I'll have time to do that. I'm too busy in February. I'm all over the place. Any word on the Total War series you're going to do? Yes, it will happen. It's just a case of time. It'll probably start in March, because once again, I'm really lacking time. But how much would you be willing to pay for a working lightsaber? Pfft, not as much as I'd be willing to pay for the ability to punch somebody in the face over the internet for asking stupid questions. What's your opinion on Fallout 1 or 2? Brilliant games. Absolutely fantastic. I've beaten both of them multiple times. They're awesome. I preferred Fallout 2, because Fallout 1 has... I don't know if you knew this, but it's actually possible to get into a situation where you can't get out of it. So, yeah, that really sucked. I actually had one playthrough ruined by that because I accidentally saved over my files, so I didn't have any backup files. Do I still watch television? No, I buy all my series on DVD and Blu-ray. It's not even that expensive. Like, I'm totally fine with paying... What did I pay? Like, £40 for all of 24? I mean, come on. That's huge amounts of content. That's what? 24 episodes per series, times 8, and then plus Redemption, I think, the kind of feature-length movie thing. My mental arithmetic was always pretty bad, so... No, Totalbiscuit, that's Microsoft Paint. No, that's not a calculator. You are too tired for this. Ah!
Team Grubby. Grubby.
I kept forgetting that that's actually a hotkey. Sorry about that. I was like, I'm trying to use the calculator with the num keys, and I realized that I bound my num keys to various things. Dear God. Oh, what's that, 192 episodes? Divided by... Well, you do 40 divided by 192. Was it £45, I think I paid for it. 45 divided by 192. So you're paying a total of 23 pence an episode. Can't complain. It's pretty good. I'm happy buying stuff like that. Like, DVDs are... Funnily enough, I'm actually buying more series on DVD than I'm on Blu-ray, because Blu-rays have this annoying tendency to have adverts on them, and it's like, what the hell are you doing? I just bought your series on Blu-ray, how dare you advertise to me? DVDs, no, they generally don't have that, so... Grubby. Lol. Alright. Do you think you're gonna get next? I already have Netflix. I just don't really use it that much. It's like, I just leave it running because it's cheap. It's like £7 a month. I don't notice that going out anymore. But it's nice to be able to just pull up something every now and again. It's like, hey, you know what? I really fancy watching an episode of American Dad right now. I'm just feeling like something dumb. So I can pull that straight away. So that's good. The Blu-rays with manual control skip straight to the... Sometimes you can't even get past that. It doesn't matter how good your Blu-ray player is. Sometimes it's just really hard to get around that. Will I buy HBO Game of Thrones? Sure, yeah. I just want to finish the book first, and that's going to take a while. It's on my Kindle at the minute. I had an idea to do videos of board games, yeah, but it's really complicated to do that. It like, requires some actual filming skill, which I definitely do not have, so that's kind of back burner. Do you still play Magic the Gathering? Not in real life. Like, I'll play the game every now and again. I don't mind playing a couple of hands of that. That's pretty fun. Do you still plan to do game top? No. Again, at some point, maybe. At some point. Let's see. Dragon as a solo act, a new precedent for SC2 players. What? What? Just Dragon being teamless? Is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. I mean, there's plenty of players that can do that. I'm actually kind of surprised that Destiny's even in a team. He doesn't need to be. He can make enough to make sure that he doesn't have to. But I don't know what benefit he really gets from being in Quantic, but that said, he has been getting a lot better lately, so maybe he has actually been gaining something from that. The thing is, like, if you can get your own sponsor, even if you can't get your own sponsor, you can live on streaming. You've got to stream quite a bit, but you can live on streaming if you've got a big enough audience. It just comes down to maintaining that audience. What car do I drive? I don't drive. I don't have any need. It's way too easy just to get transport. And the thing is, like, I like to work while I'm traveling, so I tend to take trains everywhere. So, like, a car is useless in this area. Anyone that's ever lived in Newcastle knows that a car is freaking useless. You can get anywhere on the metro, no problem at all, and it's generally faster than driving because of the road system here. So, I don't drive. If I did, what car would I drive? I don't know. I could save up for a car right now. I'm earning quite a lot, but what I really want to drive, my dream car, if you can believe this, is something dumb. So dumb. It's a Lotus Esprit. I know, it's stupid. It's not even that expensive to own one. Like, if I would go on eBay right now, I bet I can find something. Because, like, Lotus Esprits, like, 90s Lotus Esprits are not even that expensive. The problem is, like, maintenance costs are bad and they really eat. It's unbelievable how much they actually eat in terms of fuel. They are not fuel efficient. The problem is, like, actually finding a car on eBay for this. I need to lower it How do I... Oh, here we go. This is ridiculous. 1985 at Lotus Esprit Turbo in white. 2 days left, 6 grand. 6 grand, that's nothing. That's nothing. I could buy that right now. Please don't make me bid on that. 1996 Lotus Esprit 3.5 V8. 2-door coupe. It's yellow, which is a bit of a kick in the ass, but it's 16 grand. That's not that much. Really, that is not that much. And that's buy it now. 16 grand. How many miles has it got? It's only got 45,000 miles on the clock. I mean, Christ. That's not anything. The Elise is quite nice, yeah. But I don't know what it is about the Esprit, man. I think it's because I played a lot of Lotus Turbo Challenge when I was younger. I think that's what did it for me. I find the Esprit to be just such a gorgeous vehicle. I can get 2002 Lotus Esprit right here, 3.5 V8 engine. How many miles on the clock of that? 37,000 miles on the clock. 2002 model, 25 grand. It's not even that much. No, I'm not bidding on the car. No. God's sake. I'm having to deal with my taxes at the minute. I am not bidding on that car. Not until I've got all of that sorted out. And it's complicated for me, trust me, because I've got income coming in from all over the place. Anyway. Still have visa problems with the US? Yes. Will they be resolved soon? Yes, I hope. Let's see what else we've got. Anyone else with a question? Because if not, I'm going to go. Yeah, the insurance is probably a bit of a bitch on that as well. Come to think of it. There's no reason to drive a sports car in Newcastle. None. It's so dumb. You can't even fit anything in those things. Do I like doing this kind of Q&A? Yeah, that's alright. It's pretty cool. Some questions are pretty stupid, but most of them are pretty cool, I suppose. It's nice just to be able to shoot the shit for 10 minutes or so. What type of food completely turns you away? Anything with onions in it in a major way. I hate onions. They are the worst thing in the world. Oh, God. Also, anything with, like, grilled cheese on it that isn't a pizza. Like, a grilled cheese, I find disgusting. I just, like, anything with even a slight bit of burning on the cheese, the smell puts me off. It's, ugh, God. Yeah, so those two things, really. Onions are horrible. Don't even get me started. No, I don't agree. I don't agree. Go away. Mass Effect 3 is the garbage day. Yeah, maybe. That's actually very likely. I think Mass Effect 3 as garbage day would be perfect. Because it's Mass Effect. You can't do WTF is on that. You have to do something longer. No onions. Bad onions. Horrible things. Ugh, they make me rage. Terrible. I used to, like, get so paranoid when I was a kid. I'm a bit better with them now, but I still hate them. Cheese on toast is indeed out of the question. It's horrible. I hate it. Where is my next tournament? End of the month. Helsinki. Catherine on garbage day. Probably, actually. I think Catherine would be really funny for that. And again, that didn't get a sequel that you wish did. Dungeon Keeper 2. Prime example. Metal Fatigue as well. And Supreme Commander, because I don't count Supreme Commander 2 as a sequel, because it's awful. Anything else? Fuck EVE Online. Don't even get me started. Yeah, well, I lied. 24-hour WTF-a-thon? No, not for a long time. That was exhausting. I actually have quite a lot of assets in EVE Online. I've got a hack sitting in 0-0. Fully loaded, that shit is, I might add. That is a tough motherfucker of a ship. But it's stuck in a station, and I probably can't get out there without getting blown up, so, you know. Thoughts on Gotham City Imposters? Haven't played it, will play it when it comes out, which is... Isn't that quite soon? When the hell is that out? Because I'm really interested in playing some of that. When is Gotham City Imposters out? Is it Feb 7th? Is it tomorrow? Holy shit. It's out fucking tomorrow. Sweet. I'm gonna grab that. Definitely. I'll maybe do a video about it on Thursday or something. That sounds good. Again, looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, needless to say, in EVE Online, I did not use my real name. I don't believe anyone actually knows my current ident. Again, no one said anything about not trying Dust 514. I'll try Dust 514, but I won't make a WTF is of it because it's an MMO. And that's silly. It's also a console game. Where I buy my PC parts from CCL or Lambda Tech are the two companies I really trust. They should pay me for saying that. Bioshock Infinite, I hope that the 1999 mode, or whatever it's called, will be amazing. And I'm looking forward to it. What happened to the quiz show and Showcraft? It was a flawed concept. What we'll probably do is we'll create a custom map for it, like so we can have a visual element to it, but we have to pre-screen contestants, because like the first set of contestants we got didn't know anything. Don't like Newegg. Newegg doesn't ship to the UK, it's irrelevant. So that's not used to anybody. Yeah, I like Emperor Battle for June. I love that game. In fact, you've got the music in the background, as you can hear. Is this Emperor, or is it June 2000? It's June 2000. Alright. Yeah, Emperor Battle for June was actually really good and had some very cool ideas. Like, the idea that this is something that games haven't really done. Like, recently they have, but in that game, any unit that fired a long burst of shells would retarget during that burst if it killed its target. So the Sardaukar, for instance, they fired like about 20 shots at once. If they killed the target, they would swing their guns around to attack something else in the process. That was incredible. I loved that. Also, it had some really creative units in it, and the three sides were very different. Yeah, I loved that game. I think I'm going to have to play that game again at some point. Let's see. Most hated race in Warhammer 40,000. In terms of balance, or... I don't know. Eldar are pretty poncy, but they've also got some cool elements. I think the Tau are too goody-goody. Micro tournaments for fan growth. I don't have time. I couldn't do it. I'm already stretched as it is. Anything else? Did I ever play Earth 21 XX? I actually played a lot of Earth 2160. I really enjoyed that game. It's that was like four different factions methods of building were really interesting. The idea of having walls that you could slide turrets along that were on rails, so cool. Which Anno game do you recommend? All of them. They were all really good. Anno, the new Anno is really good. The older Annos are really good. Every Anno is really good. They're all amazing. 1404. I'd either get maybe 1404 or the latest one. They're both really awesome though. Yeah, I know. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed, I think. What happened to Mag? Mag's still okay, man. That's still got a community going. Yeah, people still play that. Opinion of grand strategy games. My opinion is I don't have time to play them. I don't know. I'd probably get really into one of them if I could get over the mechanics of them, and often I just can't. The user interfaces are often very complex too. So if I try to Overgrowth, no, I'll try it when it's more ready, as I will with Cube World and everything else. Did I play Starfleet Academy? No, I didn't. I heard good things about Starfleet Academy and Klingon Academy, but I never played them. I played a lot of Starfleet Command though. I love that. I think that's everything. I'll answer one more question, and then I'll go. The Dynasty 107 was actually coming out on PC. If it feels like I could do co-op with Jesse or something, that would be kind of neat. But Dynasty Warriors garbage day would be awful, because I get bored within 20 minutes, I can guarantee it. That game's awful. if you were in LA and got tapped for Iron Gamer, what game would you want? I'm pretty sure I can flatten anyone in the game station at Street Fighter 4. I would be very surprised if they could beat me at that. Funnily enough, that's a game I've actually practiced a lot. I've played over 1,000 matches. I'm pretty good at Street Fighter. But, yeah, I think I probably would beat them at that. Aside from that... that probably covers it. Yeah, Street Fighter 4. Simple as that. Okay, I am done. I am done. Thanks for helping me out with the stream. That's very much appreciated. That means that the quality tomorrow should be good with the Amalur stream. 1500 GMT is when you want to be getting up for that, folks. Oh yeah, feeling good. So very good. I'm looking forward to it. Good night.